Well, hello again. You know what this means? I'm back out on the river, back fishing for a little bit. I know, it's been a while. Lots to tell you. However, let's just get there safely first. So roll that sexy intro, and I'll see you in a minute. Not a bad view. Weather-wise, it gives it to be okay, I guess. Well, okay for Northern Ireland. Oh, let's get the gear unloaded. Let's get the ground bait mixed, eh?
A few moments later.
So, we are back again on the river. Lots to update you on. Lots to update on. Let's start with the positives. Well, actually, there's quite a lot of positives. I'm a dad. I have a daughter. She was born on the 24th of June. And she was a healthy 7 pounds 12 ounces. She's only coming up to 2 months old, and she's already ruling the house, which is concerning. But Mrs. Scobie and daughter are both thriving, both doing very well. And some other good news. My good friend Cecil, he is responding very, very well to his cancer treatment, and his, what says, due to end the next couple of months. But the doctors that are with Cecil, they are extremely happy with his progress, and they are, he's on the mend. So thank you to everyone who sent, thoughts, prayers, give him a shout out in his social media pages. Thanks for all of that, because with cancer, you have to stay positive. It'd be easy to get negative. When you face your own mortality, it would be easy, very easy to get depressed. So keeping him positive, keeping him upbeat, that was part of the plan. And I don't know if it helped, but I know this much here, it can't have fucking hurt. So he's got a bit to go yet, but he's getting there. We've got him out fishing again a couple of times since. Not fishing like this. It's fishing on a private carp fishery, where he can drive, and we'll help him get his stuff out and get his stuff set up. So we're getting there. In other news, life is good. Life is good. Negatives. Still furloughed from work. That was a pike. Furloughed from work. Getting 60% of a paycheck now, which is kind of shit. I'm waiting for my employer to come back and tell me, when to come back to the office. So far that's been challenging. So let's go through the tackle. We're using the Dutch Master 12-foot-8s. This is the 60-gram rod. I'm literally only fishing, 30 meters. It's not a big cast, it's just a flick, 30 meters. Because I'm on the River Erne, I'm having to use a shock leader to avoid the zebra mussels. Because I'm on the River Erne, I'm going to have to avoid the boat traffic. So at the minute it's only early. It's only just gone, about 9 o'clock in the morning. So there's not much boat traffic, but as the day goes on, there'll be boat traffic. There always is. So, Dutch Master feeder rod, 12'8", 60 gram rod, fishing at 30 metres, fishing with the Extremity reel, the 620 Extremity reel, and that's loaded with 012 Reflo Feeder Braid, which I think breaks at £15. Again, for people that aren't really into the angling or a bit new to the angling, £15 for feeder fishing sounds a bit much. However, it's braid. You know, you don't really go off the breaking strain, you go off the diameter, so I think it's 012. This is my stat. I would never go lighter than this for feeder fishing here, anywhere in Northern Ireland or the south. You know, you have to be able to crank a big feeder to the distance, you have to be able to bring it back in. Simple angling today. I've just mixed up a kilo of Sensas black Gros Gardons, which basically means big roach in French. To that kilo of that, I've added another kilo of normal crumb, dark crumb. The mix is fairly dry. It's going through in the feeder. It's very sweet. It smells of dark chocolate. I'm basically wanting the mix to hit the bottom of the feeder and puff out of the feeder. I've got a 3-foot hook length to a size 10 hook and to as many red maggots as I can put on the hook. So a big bait, and I'm just casting every, you know, the standard sort of cast every 2 minutes to put bait down, and then I'll slow down. I'm using that was a bite and I missed it. I'm using that was a bite. The maggots are gone. Using a free running ledger rig, feeder rig as normal, you know, to a new fish. I'll just actually show you it. There you go. There is the feeder rig. As you can see, it slides up and down the line. There's a little Preston feeder bead here. Double swivel with the little hook, and you slide this rubber down, and that you put your hook length. So this feeder is 50 grams. It's strong enough to hold the bottom, and there's a little bit of detritus and rubbish coming down through the river, so I am having to deal with that, which is fun, always fun. So let's get this untangled, shall we? This is one of the problems with fishing with a shock leader. You end up pulling little tiny bits like that there off your shock leader knot. So you just have to check to make sure that your line's clear, because that'll go through the eyes on the way in, but when you cast, you're guaranteed that'll snap you off. So you just got to be careful. Because I'm using a sweet mix, I'm getting tested by wasps. So let me show you how I hook bait on. You thread a maggot up the hook, like so. Then you take the fat end of the maggot, nick one on. Two. This one's a lively one, it's trying to escape. Three. There you go. Just the job for feeder fishing. In the feeders, you know, I'm putting in some castor and I'm putting in some castor, to put in some maggots. I've got some live maggots and dead maggots. On the river, fishing particles like castor and maggot is pretty much all I do. If I fancied, I've got tins of sweet corn there, but I'm not going to use them. I'm just gonna, you know, let them go. I also have another rod set up. This is the 13'2" version of the Dutch Masters, and I've got it set up with a Shimano Ultegra 550 bit or 550 big pit. This is in case I have to start lumping heavy feeders. I was expecting the flow on the river to be a little bit strong today, so this was in case I was having to fish heavier gear, just purely because of the flow. We've had a lot of rain here, so the river is up, the river is moving, but at the minute I'm getting away with a lightish tip, so touch wood it stays like that. And apart from that, that's the fishing. That is the angling. So these are very good swim feeders. They're called Zipla. They're made by New Fish. They take an absolute kicking. You know, you'll see, well, you might not see by the edge of that, but when I'm bringing this back, these tend to hit, like they'll stay in the bottom and we wind them up because they're kind of fluted. They kind of come to the surface, which is great when you're fishing over like a rocky ledge, because the last thing you want is to start hooking into a rocky ledge or crap like that. So, I've had 2 fish so far. Things are good. I'm going to get something to drink here and some bits and pieces, but I'll see you in a bit.
More moments later.
I got asked when I will start the pike fishing again. For me, my pike fishing season begins, you know, sometime in September, so this is August. September is not a million miles away. But I usually start pike fishing when the water gets cooler. I don't do pike fishing in the summer, especially with bait. Simple reason, the pike tend to suck the bait down really quickly. And before you have a chance to strike and set a hook, then the pike are deep hooked in their gut, and that's no good for them. That isn't any fun. You know, there would be the occasion where I would do the odd day's lure fishing for pike in the warmer weather, but again, if I'm having to go out pike fishing and I'm wearing shorts and a t-shirt, or wearing a t-shirt, like thin clothes, and that's generally a sign to me that it's on the warmer side. So I don't fish for pike when it's warm. That's just not something I do. So what have I been doing with myself since you guys have last seen me? Well, I got to experience the miracle of childbirth. I'll tell you this much, my respect for my wife has you know, it was very much boosted after watching that. You know, that was something else. Since like the new arrival, so to speak, my fishing's kind of been it's stepped it all back, you know. As I'm sure you all express, like, you all, you know, kind of think that, yeah, that's about reasonable. Got a new family to look, a new wife to look after, new daughter to look after, even not new wife. You know, so life has to kind of prioritise, you know. This is the first time I've been back fishing on Enniskillen stretches of the River Erne since the baby's been born, so I wanted to make sure that things were settled. You know, my wife was okay. I wanted to make sure that, you know, there wasn't anything that, you know, there wasn't any issues. My wife's very happy, you know, to let me go fishing. It's never an issue. So this is, like I said, this is the first time back on the Erne since my daughter arrived. I have managed to get some fishing on a local carp pond, so that's been fun. Again, this is a small private venue where a collection of retrobits meet up on a Monday for a session. It's usually it's an afternoon, evening match. It's not an all-day thing. It's just a few people having a laugh and doing a little bit of fishing. That, as the crow flies, that's 4.5, nearly 5 miles away from where I live, so it's on my doorstep. You know, it's right in front of me, so I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to kind of, if I needed to get back to the house, I could. Wouldn't be a problem. I've actually kind of liked getting back into doing competitive angling again with my friends. So the Monday evening fishing sessions are a match. There are guys that turn up to the match who all they do is carp match fishing. So guys that, you know, do that fishing all the time. So my way I would think is I want to be up to scratch with the guys that's fishing all the time at this sort of stuff. So I'd be able to compete against them again. You know, so it's again, but I'm having to get some of the. I'm getting a 10-meter margin pole. It's a matrix torque margin pole. But at the minute I was using like an 8-meter Roach whip with a size 14 elastic in it, and it's no good for carp. No good for carp. Even small carp like, you know, 4 and 5 pounds. I was getting pulled all over the place and into weeds, so no. I'm out again tomorrow, but again it's only for a few hours. It's mostly to meet up with Cecil and have a chat with him and have a bit of a laugh, you know. But it's good fun. You know, the old matches on a Monday are good fun. You know, there's nothing serious. There certainly isn't anything serious. It's basically an excuse to take the piss out of everybody. You know, it's one of the guys that's on the channel a few times. Sid, go away, wasp. You know, I would always kind of end up fishing beside him or around him or opposite him. So you spend all day taking the piss out of each other. It's just good fun. There's dipshit the heron flying past, laughing at me, thinking I'm the one that sent your rod into the river last year. Do you remember me? That's a wee trick I do with the feeder. Because I've slowed down the rate of feed now. If you let the feeder sit for 5 or 6 minutes and there's nothing happening, just drag your feeder like a foot, maybe even 1.5 foot, 2 feet, and leave the rod back down again. All you've done there is basically move your bait on the ground, and that slight bit of movement. You'll find when you're doing this sort of thing, skimmer bream are really good at this. They tend to attack stuff that's moving, so you cast your feeder out, you let it sit for a couple of minutes, and you just drag it. Now, I'm not talking rip it, like with force. It's just a nice pull, and set your rod back down. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Doing okay. Would you like us to paddle through your swim? Do you want to eat some ground bait in the face from a catapult? Yes, mate. We found a rod floating in the water. Well, it's not been a waste of a day for you then. Pardon? Yes, from Roach. No, it's been good. It's been good. You're too late. It's recording. You end up meeting all sorts of people here. I'll just wait till these kayakers go past. Being that the river is a shared space, you just have to accommodate everybody. That guy's alright. I've known that guy a long time. It was one of the occasions I fished. Pardon? Yeah, I know, that's what I'm catching. Yeah. Busy. You know, one of the times I fished here, we had an Ironman swimming event. There was like 100 and something people came swimming through my swim. That was an interesting day. I kind of had to laugh at that. I was thinking, geez, I wish I had a camera days before I bought GoPros. But it's not a bad day. The bites that I was getting were like one pluck and the maggot would have been, you know, hit and gone. This is why I've put a half a worm on. Try and hopefully get something bigger. I run the risk, if I put worm in here, I run the risk of getting eels. So I'm not too fond of eels. Oh, something else to show you. I got some new chopping scissors for the worms. These are made by Cresta. That was quite a decent pike hitting the surface. Why are the pike never this easy to find when I'm actually fishing for them? But the new Cresta worm scissors, pretty good. 2 blades, great for chopping up worm. Again, the problem is if I put worm in here, then I might get eels, and I don't want to get eels. I'm just trying to get through to the better fish.
20 minutes later.
Well, that's been pretty good. I just had 4 bream one after the other and a big hybrid. Not to mention eels. I knew putting the worm in would get the eels, but you can't really fish here without putting worm in eventually. Looks like we're getting a bit of a shower here. It's hilarious. Put on a big Dembradina worm, you know, cast it out. Don't even get a bite. Think, okay, time to refill the feeder, bring it in, perch this size, stuck to it. They're great, aren't they? They're just so bloody greedy. It's awesome. It's nice to see bream. I know the big guys watching this going, bream. But it's nice to actually see bream. Alright. Let's get this coat sitting ready. Because if it starts to throw down, I'll have to put this coat on. Of course, the problem with bream means lots of slime, which is why this leg is stinking. But it's all a bit of fun. It's all a good laugh, and it's fishing. Oh. I haven't had any texts or phone calls from the wife, so everything must be okay with her, which is good.
Still fishing with as many maggots as I can fit onto a size 10 Guru feeder special hook as I can. The rain's actually warm. Oh well. Since I caught the bream, the bites have I was getting dead fast little dinks, and then nothing. But since those bream showed up, the bites were very much kind of tips flicking back, where they've obviously picked the feeder off the bottom, moved the feeder so the tips sprung back. So they've been very positive, the bites. That's the thing when you fish in the River Erne. If the River Erne's moving, the fishing's always better. If it's dead still and not doing anything, then it's kind of shit. In my experience, you want the River Erne moving, and you want a little bit of colour on it. If the River Erne's moving, it has that colour, then the bream that's there, the hybrids that's there, straight away their confidence is boosted. And they'll quite happily feed. But if it's flowing gin clear, or if it isn't flowing, it's just sitting stagnant, and well, then nothing really happens. But I'm going to put you away because it's raining. I put a jacket on. As you can see by my change in attire, got a bit wet. It's actually been a really good day. I've had, I think, 6 decent bream, some hybrids, about 19 eels, all small bootless eels. And a load of perch. Then just like River Erne. You're always going to get perch on the River Erne. The boat traffic's been as expected. Cruiser boats, kayakers, paddle boarders, jet skis. Where I am fishing on the River Erne, there has been a brand new public jetty put in. So all the brand new public jetty has done is push the boat traffic closer towards this side of the bank, which isn't ideal. And you can always tell that the boats are tourist boats because they don't slow down coming through a marina. But that's just the way it goes. One of the things, if you're coming to the Erne to ever fish kind of any time in the summer months or autumn months, be prepared for boat people. You just have to suffer it. Nothing else you can do. Missed that. Missed that. are you all coping out there in normal life? Hopefully you've all survived the unnamed global virus from unspecified geographical location. Oh well. Not sure about having vaccine passports. I think that's just an infringement on my civil liberties, just a little bit too far. You know, the way I would describe it to anybody is, you know, we don't stop people with HIV, AIDS, or other infectious, really, really bad diseases travelling, so stopping people travelling or restricting their freedoms or movements or access to the bar for a pint, I think that's just a step too far. Of course, it's all kicking off in France. The French politician in charge, Macron, has turned around and said that unless you've been vaccinated, you won't be given any state benefits, even state health care. Which is insane, absolutely insane. To the point where if you're a business owner and you don't vet your customers, you could be fined and or imprisoned. Again, that's insane. But hopefully we get back to some sort of normality. Apparently the rumours are that we can, you know, begin to meet up with more people and blah blah blah, and get in to watch football matches and all that good stuff. Hopefully we'll be able to ditch masks as well. But we just have to wait and see to see what our glorious leaders tell us today. In other news around the world, it looks like the Taliban have been given Afghanistan again. Sleepy Joe in America decided to pull out the American troops. So the Taliban have basically walked back into control of the country. What a fucking waste of savage life. What a waste. Hundreds of British troops killed. Hundreds of thousands of British troops injured physically, mentally. And for what? For what? And the sad thing is, we knew this would happen. You asked any of us that served out there, and if you asked us what'll happen when we leave, we'd have all said it's going to go back to the way it was before we were here. So it made you wonder what all the sacrifice was for. not gonna talk about it. It just makes me enraged, angry. And I missed that one as well. Another news, the comedy road show that is the Scottish government have decided that if you're a 4-year-old child in school, you can define your gender. Say you're a transvestite or a transgender or whatever. So what are we going to have, like a class of 4-year-olds in Scotland? They're going to be like a class of, you know, Spider-Mans and Hulks, and I don't want to be this, I want to be a fire truck. I don't want to be a little boy, I want to be the Incredible Hulk. I have to laugh at all this stuff, I really do. It's getting about time to maybe think about packing up. Been out all day, had a good day. But I think it's now home and a cold beer time. The fun doesn't stop for me. I'm going home, getting fishing stuff ready, back out tomorrow, back out on Monday. Tomorrow I'm fishing the Carp pond. It's just a small practice session, having a bit of a laugh, a cecil. And then on Monday it's the usual match that I fish with the hooligans. So I think we should get this stuff packed up, right up, and then maybe have a look at what we have in the keep net. What do you think? Bar that hour and a half of rain, it's actually been a really cracking day. I'll knock all this stuff down and I'll see you in a minute. So let's have a look, shall we? This has already been zeroed, it's already soaking. For some reason I get earache about putting fish into a wasteling. Only I could get that. Oh, Jesus. Right. I think there's still fish in there. Hold on. Can't forget every one of them count. Right. So let's see what we see. Oop. 13 kilos and something. 13.7. Let's have a proper look at them. As you can see, I got some bream. I got some nice bream. That wasn't a bad day.